thank you all for being here. I think, and the best, we do read emails, we do answer phone calls. If for some reason we miss an email or a phone call back, we do get a lot of them, particularly over some days more than others. But we are reachable, and we do look for constituent feedback. I mean, it informs us in much of what we do. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you as well for being here. We can't do our job without you, because we're supposed to be here to serve you. So knowing what you want, what's important to you, is the most important thing. I would add one other point, that although we still have a minority and a majority in the legislature, we have more balance there than we've had in many, many, many years. And the exercise of working with our colleagues, both on our side of the aisle and on the other side of the aisle, is the most enriching and rewarding thing that we can do there. I sit on a couple of bipartisan caucuses, manufacturing, and then a work group on English as English language learners that the Speaker has invited us to form, and also on the Moore Commission. And it is a really rewarding experience. We're getting to know each other very well, and I think that's the way that we can really serve you all best. Thank you.
Thanks again, everybody, for being out here today. I mean, as I said, we have a lot of challenges in the state in the short term, I think, but I'm bullish on the long term, and continue to work together. And it's obviously a pleasure to work with the delegation here, and we all do work well together. And we work well together with our colleagues from various parts of the state and across the aisle. So, don't believe all that Washington stuff happens in Hartford. So we do have disagreements, and that's okay. We can have disagreements because sometimes we come from different parts of the state, or we have different philosophies, or we do things differently. But the legislature is still a laboratory of ideas and debate and thought. And even though there's lots of bills out there, it's a place where we can at least debate things and hear things, and some things make it, and lots of things don't. But it's a place where at least people can have their thoughts heard. And I have to just give a kudos. It's my first year not on appropriations, and there were members of the Appropriations Committee, both sides of the aisle, we have these night hearings and appropriations. And Gail, you're on finance, all right?
No, I'm on appropriations, but I was
think
on
today's year to go.
Right. But talking to other legislators around the country, lots of the times public hearings are not really public, meaning that leaders of committees will have like an hour hearing to let a couple of people come in, but it's really not meant for the public. Connecticut, we have public hearings, and we'll have people sit there, like Gail or Chris or Terry or me or whoever. We'll sit there until the last person has finished talking. And sometimes that'll be 5 o'clock at night, sometimes it'll be 8 o'clock at night, sometimes it'll be 3 in the morning. And we will wait for everybody to have their say. Now, it's frustrating for people who've been there since maybe 11 in the morning to wait till 3 in the morning to talk. But if that's what they want to do, generally we will be there to listen to them. So from a standpoint of what the league represents and what you value, I do believe that we have a government that is honest and open and transparent. We can disagree, we can have different philosophies, but we try and certainly do the best we can to listen to the members of the public. So thanks for being out here.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you again for coming out in this this Yankee Clipper, whatever we're calling it. It's going to be this cold until July, I've heard. I just, I wanted to say that, what we're, a couple of years ago, we instituted, the way a committee works is you get bills, and then in the past it used to be the Democrats would go screen the bills they thought were interesting, and then the ranking members on the Republican side, in this case in the state of Connecticut, would screen the bills. A couple of years ago, we got rid of that in the committee process. We basically have a bipartisan screening, so Republicans and Democrats are in the same room. Going through all these bills, and I had certainly the pleasure of working with Representative Lavielle on a lot of good bills that we put through in Commerce before she went to more interesting things on education. And she's good. And it really does help the collaborative process, and it basically creates better legislation. And it's like to the point where you get to know each other's eye rolls. If an idea comes through and I look at Gail, she's like, ugh. And then I know, all right, this is, I sort of engage like what kind of level of discussion we're going to have. But it's been very candid and useful, and Representative Camillo, who is now serving in her place, it's all good. So the point is that we've had a siloed process in Connecticut for so long, between where everybody was protecting their own turfs, and we are trying to open this up as much as we can, where we are trying to basically trying to get the best ideas forward and into policy to see if we can, and it's in every area. So that's why I'm not picking on any particular area. And I just think that the collaborative climate has improved greatly, and I think that's something we need to try to stick to. But at the same time, I'd say in some ways we're only as good as our ideas, and a lot of good ideas come directly from you. And after the meeting we had last year, housing was a big deal in the planning politics meeting last year, and we worked to just make sure that we were allocating enough vouchers and making sure that we're getting enough support here for Norwalk, and that's always going to be an ongoing battle. And now looking forward at a lot of the cuts that are being made, that's going to be a fight. We want to hear from you, really. And again, like I said, our emails really don't get screened out, so we'll hear from you. Trust me. If you send us an email, we'll get it. And I just want to say thank you for your participation, but also just let's keep that going. And just if you have any questions, just please contact us. Okay.
On behalf of the league, we'd like to thank you all for coming out.